Why are you taking videos?
I'm asking you who you are.
Why, you don't need to know who I am. Why are you taking videos? You need to put that video camera down.
We cannot allow you to record in this office, and anybody's pictures that you took, you cannot have for anything. You need to delete them off of there. Not
This is a public
servants,
building.
they're employees.
They're public. They work for the public, which means they're public
They're not
servants.
public servants, they're employees, sir. Don't make it sound degrading. This is
Elizabeth,
against the law for you to be in here recording.
it's against the law.
Yes, it
What
is.
law would that be?
It's disruption of public service.
No, that's not true.
You're not coming back in to record. Our security officer will have you removed.
Guys, the Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today we're at the Department of Motor Vehicle here in Jefferson County, West Virginia. We are here today, as always, to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants recognize our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're just getting inside the Department of Motor Vehicle here. Let's take a look around. Over here we have Everett Frazier, the Commissioner, Jim Justice, Governor, and Jimmy Riston, Secretary of Transportation. Excuse me, ma'am? Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, I saw you over here at the driver's testing area.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you was coming out from a test or something.
Oh, no, ma'am, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't need help. Like I always said, if you want very fast service at any public agency, just pull out your camera and start recording.
Excuse me, sir. Is there a reason why you're recording in here?
Is there a reason?
Yeah.
There sure is. Who are you?
I am a floor lead here for the West Virginia DMV.
So a supervisor?
No, not a supervisor, but
Floor
I'm a
lead.
floor lead.
Okay, and your name?
Why?
I just like to know who I'm speaking to.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth, my name's Sean.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. I am an independent journalist. I'm just working on a story here at the DMV.
Okay. That's what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're curious, because, you know.
Yeah, that's all. Nothing nefarious.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. So it looks like a security officer over here is going to be coming out to speak to us.
This video wastes absolutely no time. It opens in pure chaos. Before any context is given, before any explanation can settle in, the tension is already boiling over. A voice immediately challenges the man behind the camera, demanding answers with a tone that feels less like curiosity and more like control. The question isn't just, why are you recording? It's loaded with authority, suspicion, and an expectation of compliance. Within seconds, the situation escalates further. The cameraman is told he cannot record, that what he's doing is not allowed, and more shockingly, that he must delete everything he's already captured. This is where the stakes become clear. This isn't just a casual misunderstanding. This is a direct clash between perceived authority and individual rights. What makes this opening so gripping is the imbalance of energy. On one side, there's urgency, pressure, and an attempt to assert dominance. On the other, there's resistance, calm but firm. The person filming doesn't immediately fold, and that refusal alone fuels the tension even more. And then comes the underlying theme that will define the entire encounter: control versus accountability. The officials insist this is not a public space in the way the cameraman believes it is, while he subtly pushes back on that narrative. The phrase public servants enters the conversation early, and you can already feel how uncomfortable that label makes them. By the time this intro ends, one thing is crystal clear. This is not going to be a simple interaction. The tone has already been set for confrontation, and the viewer is left with a powerful question hanging in the air. Who's actually right here? And how far is this going to go?
Sir, why are you taking videos?
Excuse me?
Why are you taking videos?
Who are you?
Why are you taking videos?
I'm asking you who you are.
Why, you don't need to know who I am. Why are you taking videos?
Why don't I need to know who? I sure do. You're talking to me. I'd like to know who you are.
Why, you don't need to know who I am.
Are you not a public servant?
Why are you taking videos?
Ma'am, you can say whatever you like, yeah.
Because he's a YouTuber. He's doing this.
right?
Yeah, you could say whatever you want. I'm just trying to figure out who you are
Well, you don't need to know who I am.
Why would
I
that
want to
be?
know why you're taking videos.
This is a public
Of course
place.
it's a public place, yeah.
It's a film.
Yeah, I'm just
It's in your United States constitutional right.
that's correct, man. But I'm trying you know more than the law enforcement officer here, unfortunately. But thank you for your knowledge. So you're not going to tell me who you are? Guess not. Hey,
Now the scene resets, but only slightly. The tension hasn't disappeared. It's just momentarily masked by a calmer, more controlled introduction. The cameraman steps into the spotlight, revealing himself as an independent journalist with a clear purpose, documenting public spaces to promote transparency and accountability. It's a composed explanation, almost rehearsed, but it serves a critical role. It reframes the narrative. Suddenly, what seemed like random filming becomes something intentional, strategic, even principled. As he walks through the DMV, the atmosphere feels deceptively normal. Employees are present, daily operations continue, and for a brief moment, it almost feels like the earlier confrontation might have been an overreaction. But that illusion doesn't last long. A staff member approaches, polite, cautious, but clearly curious. Her tone isn't aggressive, which creates an interesting contrast. Instead of immediate hostility, there's an attempt to understand. The cameraman responds calmly, introducing himself and maintaining a respectful demeanor. This exchange becomes crucial because it highlights something often overlooked in these encounters. Not everyone reacts the same way, but beneath this calm surface, tension is quietly rebuilding. You can feel it in the pauses, in the cautious questions, in the way attention starts to shift toward the camera again. It's like the calm before a storm, controlled but unstable. And then comes a subtle but telling moment. The mention of how pulling out a camera often leads to faster service. It sounds almost like a joke, but it carries weight. It hints at a deeper truth. That accountability changes behavior. As this segment closes, the energy begins to shift once more. Movement in the background. A security presence approaching. The calm is about to break again. And this time, it won't be as polite.
rude. So this woman over here knows her constitutional rights.
Yes, ma'am. You need to put that video camera down.
Reliance Security. So you're not law enforcement. I thought you were law enforcement. Obviously you're not. You're part of private
You don't need to
security.
know who I am.
I do need to know who you are because you're talking to me. Why are you being so rude? Why are you being so rude, sir? Is this how you treat all members of the public? I would hate to think that you treat all members of the public this way.
Sir, we cannot allow you to record in this office, and anybody's pictures that you took, you cannot have for anything. You need to delete them off of there.
I need to delete
Yes, sir.
off of my camera?
You cannot have anything from this office. I just talked to my boss about that.
I'm not deleting anything from my camera.
These people don't want their faces on anything.
Who are these people?
Any employees in here. Nobody wants their
The
faces.
public servants.
That's exactly right. They do not want their face on internet or anything else.
Oh, the public servants that work for the public, and
Not
this is a public building.
servants, they're employees.
They're public. They work for the public, which means they're
But
public
they're not
servants.
public servants, they're employees, sir. Don't make it sound degrading, they're employees.
There's nothing degrading about being a public
They
servant.
don't want on there, and I just spoke to my boss, and you're not
And your
allowed to
boss is who?
record in here.
Who's your boss?
My boss's name is Richie, and he's in Charleston.
Okay.
You are not to be recording anything in this building.
Of course I can.
No, you cannot.
Who are you, ma'am?
Man, I'm the manager here,
You're
and
the
then
manager?
I spoke to my
So
boss.
another public servant.
Yes, we are. We're public servants.
There's nothing wrong or degrading. If you think
But
that's
you
degrading,
cannot
that's
put
your
this on
problem,
the
not mine.
internet.
Oh, I sure can, and I
you
sure will.
cannot.
Of course I can, ma'am. What's your name?
I'm Lorraine.
Lorraine
But
and
this
Elizabeth.
is against the law for you to be in here recording.
It's against the law.
Yes, it
What
is.
law would that be?
This is where the situation truly starts to ignite. The arrival of security changes everything. Not just the tone, but the entire direction of the encounter. The questioning becomes sharper, more direct, and far less patient. It's no longer curiosity driving the interaction, it's control. The security officer immediately demands answers, but there's a critical detail that flips the dynamic. He refuses to identify himself. This moment is subtle, yet incredibly powerful. Authority is being asserted, but without accountability. And the cameraman picks up on that instantly. What follows is a tense back and forth that feels less like a conversation and more like a standoff. Each question is met with resistance, each demand met with deflection. The cameraman isn't backing down, and that alone seems to escalate the officer's frustration. Then, unexpectedly, a voice from the side enters the scene, a bystander who understands the law. This changes the energy in a big way. Suddenly, the cameraman isn't alone in this. There's validation, support, and most importantly, a reminder that this situation isn't as one-sided as it initially appeared. The mention of constitutional rights lands like a spark in dry grass. It doesn't calm things down, it intensifies them. Because now, the argument isn't just about filming, it's about legality, rights, and who actually understands the rules. The officer continues pressing, but the confidence behind his authority begins to feel shaky. Meanwhile, the cameraman remains steady, almost unfazed. That contrast is what drives the suspense here. One side escalating emotionally, the other holding firm. By the end of this segment, the lines are clearly drawn. This is no longer a misunderstanding. This is a confrontation, and it's about to reach its peak.
It's disruption of public service.
No, that's not true,
Yes, it
Lorraine.
is.
That's not true.
Sir, if you have a problem with it, I was instructed to tell you call the 800 number and you can talk.
Oh, I don't need to call anyone, Lorraine.
Well, you do not need to be in your recording. You're
Oh,
not
for
welcome
sure. I
back
do
in here
need to be, and
record
I'm
anything
going
else.
to be. Yes, ma'am.
You're not coming back in to record. Our security officer will have you removed. If not,
No,
I'll
your
state
security
police.
officer cannot have me removed.
Yes, he can.
He cannot do that.
I'll call the police and we'll see what's
You can do that. You can do that. Lorraine is not happy here. She is not happy whatsoever that we are peacefully exercising our constitutional rights. Hey, good to see you again.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just taking some pictures and video like I did before at the probation office. That's all.
You're not bothering the employees?
Oh, no. No, that's not my intention at all. Not at all. I'm just walking around looking at what I could see from public, and that's it.
Okay.
I know a manager did come up to me, and she was, upset. She said she spoke to her boss and that I have to delete the footage from my camera.
Yeah, we know that's not true.
Yeah.
So, I gotta ask you, are you the Long Island auditor?
I am Long Island Audit. That's correct. My Sean Paul Reyes.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look familiar, and I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. I grew up in Long Island.
Oh, really? What part?
Manorville, at East
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm from Center Reach area.
Center. Where's
Smithtown. You know
Suffolk
Smith Haven
County?
Mall? Suffolk
Yeah.
County.
Yeah, Smith
Yeah,
Haven.
Smith Haven Mall? Yeah, around there.
Well, you obviously know what your last
Yeah, it's about education, sir.
Oh, I understand.
It's about
No, I
education.
understand.
It's about educating the public,
Yeah.
and see how they treat me. And they didn't do so well here. They were very rude, and
Let me
trying to.
talk to them a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you have the tacos?
I'm sorry.
Did you have the tacos?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I didn't have the tacos yet. No.
Well, let me.
So
let me
you
go
are
talk to them.
the you Lieutenant for the Jefferson County. We're
Sheriff's
still
office.
it's the Sheriff's Office
Yes, sir.
for Jefferson County.
Yes, sir.
So we're still in Jefferson County. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to come out here and
What
see.
brought this on? Buffalo Boy?
I don't.
What made you-
Who's that? Is that the
2 or 3?
Yeah. So I saw that in the city hall that he was again. There's certain people that I don't agree. I think he's more of he's self-proclaimed. He's like a prank channel.
He's like a comedian.
He's a prank channel.
Yeah.
Does it mean he has any less rights than anybody else? No.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go about it that way. But again, he's a prank channel. That's what he does, and he still has rights. So I saw that. I just want to make sure that we have the right education here, and that we respected people's rights and being professional with people, and that's it. I'm not trying to bother anybody at all.
I understand.
Not at all, sir.
Let me go talk to the manager.
Yeah,
And
please.
if you need
Her name's
anything,
Lorraine.
just let me know. Lorraine?
Yeah. Hey, Lieutenant.
So we're good to go. I explained to her that you're within your rights to, and she agrees, film in a public space. Where's a kind of gray area? The only thing would be if you kind of walk up to windows while people are doing business.
Yeah,
There's a
I agree.
chance of
I
being-
agree. That's a gray area, and
Yeah.
that's why I don't go and do that. I think people. My job is not to harass anyone. It's just to peacefully exercise my rights. If you've seen any of my videos,
I watch you.
I've worked with law enforcement before. Like I'm not anti-law enforcement in any way. I'm not just. I'm for transparency and accountability for the government. That's all.
Yeah, no, I got you. And the only gray area would be if, like, by getting close, it disrupts
Yeah.
the whole, what's that code, disruption of government process.
Yeah.
So we don't want to even get close to that, which
No.
doesn't look like you are.
No, not at all.
And then just be mindful of people's personal information if they're writing stuff down. Try not to do that if you can. I mean, you're in public space, you can film, but you know, what I mean? And you're very.
Again, that's not my intention. I'm not the guy that says, well, it's their, technically it's their job to protect the information from me in public, but I don't like to, I'm not trying to be an a-hole. I'm not trying to just say, hey, just because I can film you, like, for example, like children and stuff, just because I can doesn't mean I do. I try and be a little respectful towards people and just let them know, it's just about education. Again, now that she was educated and everything, I'll be on my way and, we'll have my tacos and everything. What was your name again, Lieutenant?
Steve.
Steve?
Steve Holtz.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Holtz. Oh, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it? Steve Holtz, Lieutenant Holtz.
So, the closest we have to New York Pizza is right up here, too.
I saw that it said New York Pizza, and I was going to try it because I was like, I don't believe it. Because a lot of people say, I've been all over the country, and they all seem to say New York, and then it's like,
That's a really nice Italian
It's
family.
good?
Oh, yeah, they're from Jersey, actually.
Yeah, I know there's a place I have some family in Florida, and there's this guy from New York, Long Island, from Medford, and he went to school with my sister. He actually opened up a pizza place down there, and he imports the water.
No kidding.
From New York, so it's like very close to like New York.
We also have a bakery
that's the secret, the water
sandwich shop over by the Walmart. I don't know if you pass Walmart on your It's in that shopping center. It's called Royalicious.
Okay.
Man, they have the closest bagels I've ever. They make the bagels every day in there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Long Island. We're known for bagels, pizza.
Can't get a good egg sandwich here either.
Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup. Yeah.
All right, you need anything from me at all?
No, thanks, Lieutenant. It was nice meeting you. Thank you so much. You stay safe, okay?
Thanks.
All right, guys, so we're going to be hanging out for a few more minutes, and then we're going to be getting out of here. You see the security guard's face here. He is not happy. And I'm sure Lorraine, the manager's not happy. But we'll request the body camera footage. Like I said, we'll hang out here for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to be getting out of here. All right, guys, so we're just getting out of the Department of Motor Vehicle here in Jefferson County, West Virginia. So, started off really rough with Lorraine and Elizabeth, the supervisor and manager here, saying that we couldn't record, that I needed to delete my footage right away because it is against some sort of law here in West Virginia, and that I was interrupting governmental proceedings and processes here at the Department of Motor Vehicle. We all know that's all BS. That is not true. There is no law against recording in publicly accessible areas. It is our constitutional right under the First Amendment of freedom of press. But Lorraine was given bad information from her manager in Charleston. That's just the way it is. She got bad information. Hopefully she's able to educate her manager in the Capitol and that there is no law preventing us from recording. I do not have to delete my footage. Where do people get off saying that you have to delete your footage? This is my property. I don't have to delete anything. Public servants is not a derogatory term. It is just what they are. They are public servants. I would never speak in a derogatory manner towards anyone. I don't think of them less than, me because they're public servants. That's just what they are. They're here to serve the public. Nothing derogatory about it. That's how you take it. That's how you take it. And a lot of people do take it that way for some reason. You're in public service, that means you're a public servant. It's an honorable job if you do it correctly and you're professional and you respect the public's rights and treat them with respect, right? Security guard here, definitely big time fail with him. Wouldn't identify himself, escalated the situation. Definitely shouldn't be carrying a gun, in my opinion. I don't even understand how he got his job, just based on his poor attitude and how he talks to people, not identifying himself, no de-escalation. But again, I don't even understand why security, for that matter, is needed. Armed security is needed at the Department of Motor Vehicle. What's going on in the Department of Motor Vehicle that we need armed security? But there's not armed security at every school, but every single Department of Motor Vehicle I go to has armed security. I don't understand. That's the difference, is that the government wants to protect themselves, protect their own privacy, but they don't care about the people, we the people, and that's an issue. Lastly, Lieutenant Holt, amazing. He was the one that responded to our video at the probation office. Amazing officer. He says that he watches our videos. He's seen that 2Apre, that channel, a prank channel. I don't consider them activists. They were at the We the People protest, and they do more of prank, funny videos apparently. But again, there's nothing wrong with prank videos, and you can exercise your constitutional rights in any way. So that's why I came to Charleston. because I want to come to Charlestown because I've realized that the people are getting be treated really badly here. And we need to fix that. We, the people, need to come here and follow up and make sure that they're being treated correctly. Shout out to Lieutenant Holt for knowing our rights, educating this Manager Lorraine. I really appreciate him. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.
Everything explodes here. What started as tension now turns into full-blown confrontation. The security officer takes a hard stance, issuing direct commands. Stop recording. Put the camera down. Delete everything. There's no room for discussion anymore, only demands. And with each demand, the pressure intensifies. But the cameraman doesn't budge. Instead, he challenges every claim, every instruction, forcing the officer to justify his authority. And that's where things begin to unravel. The reasoning provided feels weak, inconsistent, and most importantly, unsupported. Then the manager enters, and rather than de-escalating the situation, she amplifies it. Her presence adds a new layer of authority, but also a new layer of tension. She doubles down on the claims, insisting that recording is illegal and that the footage must be deleted. The confidence in her voice suggests certainty, but the lack of evidence tells a different story. This creates a powerful dynamic. Multiple authority figures standing together, reinforcing each other, yet still unable to clearly define the law they're claiming to enforce. The phrase disruption of public service is introduced, a turning point in the argument. It's presented as justification, but immediately challenged. And once again, the cameraman stands his ground. Then comes the threat, removal, even the mention of calling the police. This is the peak of tension, the moment where everything could spiral out of control. The stakes are at their highest, and the outcome feels uncertain. Will force be used? Will the cameraman be removed? Or is something about to shift? Because right now, neither side is backing down.